Tommy,
What's up, man?
we are back.
Yeah, it's been a while. It seems like a while at least. It's been like a week and a half.
How you doing, man? I see you got yourself a haircut there. You look nice and
Man.
clean shaven today.
Yeah. I shaved up everything, just got to keep the look up going, But nah, man, I'm doing good. I'm in good spirits. It's nice to finally have fans back and not be able to say, oh, it's they're coming back or anything like that. Like last night as a wrestling fan was just special. Like
Nice.
It's good to be back, and it's good to be enjoying this product that we love so much. But I think we got to start this show off with just a little bit of music, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's go. Let's get it started.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Agility from the champion. Oh, deep six! That could be it. Delivers this deep six.
Good evening, Deep Six Pro Wrestling Podcast fans. This is episode 67. And I am joined by Tommy. Tommy, how you doing today, man?
Man, I am doing good. I'm doing good. It's been a good night.
You should be doing good. Your Tampa Bay Lightning just won the Stanley Cup.
Won the Stanley Cup, baby. Yes, sir. You're darn right they did. I was so excited.
The New York Islanders gave Tampa Bay the biggest challenge, by the way.
They did, man. That was a really good series. It's just good to see, fans and be able to experience that playoff atmosphere again. I mean, Tampa Bay's it's tough to argue that they're creating a dynasty. I mean, two back-to-back Stanley Cup wins. They're gonna be good, man.
Yo, Tampa Bay is becoming title town all of a sudden. You got the Lightning, you got the Buccaneers, the Rays are up in the air.
Just wait till September, man. When we're winning the World Series. I got a bet on it and everything, so it's got to happen.
Well, you know which team you got to get past first before that even happens.
We'll get there, man. Like you said right before we started recording, they're slipping a little bit. They were getting beat by.
I didn't go as far as slipping a little bit. They came back to earth the last 3 games.
Yeah.
Losing 2 out of 3. That's like the first series they've lost all year, practically.
That's fine. They met Ohtani's son. Just wait, man.
Ohtani did light him up a little bit.
I just the sidebar with that. I don't care who you are or what you're saying. Shohei Ohtani might just be the greatest player I've ever seen in my life.
We'll see.
The stuff that this dude is doing this year, I think he's at 32 homers right now. He's got a better K per 9 than Garrett Cole. He's got absolutely blazing speed on the base path. I'm pretty sure he's got better steals or more steals than Adalberto Mondesi. This dude is a legend right now. I understand, people like, oh, it's just, one season or whatever. No, stop that. The season that we're seeing from Shohei Ohtani is going to go down as one of the greatest seasons of all time, and we're not even at the All-Star break. Like, imagine what happens when Mike Trout comes back. Sign me up, man. Shohei Ohtani as the MVP, I'm all for it. I'm witnessing a legend every time I check my phone and see the Angels score. This dude is a legit animal at the plate, throwing from the plate, running on the bases. It doesn't matter.
So we'll see. We're about a week away from the All-Star game. We'll see about how all this pans out. The Yankees are losing a lot. I think they lost today. The Yankees, whoever the Seattle starter was, sat down 18 straight Yankee batters. I was loving every bit of it.
Yeah, Logan Gilbert. Yeah, man. He was playing really well recently.
Retired 18 straight. But anyhow, we got a couple things to talk about today. We are on the road to Money in the Bank. We are on subtly on the road to AEW All Out. We'll talk a little bit about that. But first, let's talk about Money in the Bank. I lost Tommy for a second, but he'll be back on. We will talk about Money in the Bank, which is coming up in about 2 weeks from now. We will have a prediction show for that. And I would say maybe next Friday or so. So we'll be coming back to you guys. We'll let you guys know what that is, but we believe it's going to be around next Friday or so, as episode 68, predicting Money in the Bank. And those of you guys who listen to the podcast will try to get that downloaded onto Apple Podcasts as soon as possible. So be on the lookout for that. But we got Money in the Bank coming up, and we have a couple things going on here. So let me pull up the latest card for Money in the Bank. So far we have Ricochet, Riddle, and John Morrison. Added to that is Drew McIntyre, Big E, Kevin Owens, and still 2 more names to be added from SmackDown. What are they waiting until like 2 days before to add these guys on? What's going on?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I was very surprised with the.
I think Seth Rollins and Cesaro have a qualifying match this Friday.
Okay, that'll be a good one. That'll be really good. Man, if they, I get it. I understand Seth Rollins, getting the win. I wouldn't be upset with that, but please put Cesaro in this match.
Well, either Cesaro or Seth Rollins can enter. At least as of now, it's only one of them.
I wouldn't have a problem with either of them, but I'd rather it be Cesaro just because he needs to continue his build. Like, he needs to continue being pushed as that main guy. I mean, I don't, whether people disagree or not, that match at WrestleMania Backlash was absolutely phenomenal. Cesaro truly, if you ever had any doubts, Cesaro truly showed that he belongs in the main event scene. And I get the program with Seth Rollins needing to, get Seth Rollins kind of back under his feet. He's been gone with the baby and all that. Great for him. I'm glad. But Seth Rollins does not need a character push. We know who Seth Rollins is. He's never going to get away from the main event scene. It's time to give it to Cesaro. I was surprised that I incorrectly predicted that Kevin Owens would not win against Sami Zayn. He did. Good for him. But I still think that that's a problem. I don't know that it seems like Kevin Owens is kind of being pushed as the favorite to go against Roman Reigns after this. I still think Sami Zayn would have been a better choice just because
he would be a fun Money in the Bank winner.
He needs a push. Sami Zayn is a top 5 wrestler on the mic when he's given the chance. And he's easily top 5 in the ring. I don't know if, maybe some people may argue with that, but his matches consistently steal the show, or some of the better matches on the card every single night.
So I'm not sure who's really going to come out of this match. I mean, I think I could easily rule out Ricochet. Riddle is kind of hit or miss for me. I mean, he's been doing some good work. He's been featured pretty heavily on Raw. Would be no surprise if Riddle wins, but I still don't think they're going to go there. John Morrison, I mean, listen, they've been shoving John Morrison down our throats for many months now. So the way WWE booking has been, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins too. I don't expect it though. Drew McIntyre. So this was my scenario that Drew McIntyre wins the Money in the Bank briefcase as a scenario, loophole, so to speak, to get back into the title scene and maybe do a cash in on Bobby Lashley finally to win his belt back. However, you have Jinder Mahal in the mix, and you got to expect after what we saw last Monday night on Raw, Jinder stealing Drew McIntyre's sword, and Jinder and his Goonies beating up on Drew McIntyre, that they're going to at least have a match at coming up soon, probably SummerSlam. I mean,
don't say that.
It could happen. It could happen. But I'm wondering if the program that they do have will hinder Drew from winning the briefcase. But I still think that you could still have Drew win the briefcase and still, have him carried around and then fight Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam. But that's exactly where they're going.
Gosh, I do not want to see that match at SummerSlam. I'm sorry, but like Jinder Mahal just makes me not want to watch wrestling. Like, no disrespect to him. I know he's put in the work to get where he is.
He's a good heel champ.
He's a good heel. He was good. But, like, in the same vein you were talking about Drew cashing in, no. Like, I want to see someone fresh. I don't want to see Kevin Owens. I don't want to see Drew McIntyre. I want to see somebody completely new. Give me a fresh matchup. If that's even in the same vein, like I don't want it to be Cesaro. Like I'd like to see him win. That would be great. But I don't want to see, some BS matchup. We had the first night, and I think that was the biggest talking point. That Raw, where John Morrison, Ricochet, and Matt Riddle all won. That was impressive. Like that doesn't happen. You don't see 3 upsets on a Raw event. It's almost unheard of. It's been a very long time since I could say something has happened like that in Raw. You need to do something different. You need to just have a different perspective going into SummerSlam. They're still teasing, even Lesnar coming out. I know Heyman, like his Heyman Hustle Facebook page changed his picture to profile picture to like Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. We're still hearing the Cena rumors. Just give me something fresh. SummerSlam has to be a major event. Again, I know we'll talk about it later, but last night's AEW, watch out. I mean, like, as much as I don't want to admit it, WWE might be in some trouble.
I don't know. I mean, NXT is still very right there, and NXT still has some of the biggest names. Yeah, easily understandable that Raw viewership is going down.
NXT's viewership's going down.
Yeah, I mean, what was the latest rating that you saw?
What was the what?
What was the latest rating that you saw?
I read that it was like the Great American Bash did not do as well as they were hoping. Like it was fine, but Tuesday nights, and again, granted, that's going up against the NBA Finals. That's a red herring or anything like that. Like
Game 7 of the Stanley Cup.
That was Tuesday too as well, right? Or was that no? That was last night.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
No, that wasn't even Game 7. That was Game 5.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
It's tough to look at it. Who knows? But I really.
It is summertime too.
Yeah. It even seems like okay. So we got what SmackDown next week is the first show with fans, and then Money in the Bank. Okay, that's fine. That's great. I'm excited. I'm not going to miss it. But for the next 3 weeks, including this past, yesterday, 4 weeks, AEW's got a special show going on every single week.
And that's their main show, too.
It's their main show. And then a week later, you have the debut of Rampage. It just seems like AEW has a lot of momentum, has a lot of big matches. I'm not saying WWE can't keep up or anything. Again, I still am under the impression that WWE is the most recognizable brand in professional wrestling and their sports entertainment, and nobody can argue with that, whether they want to or not. But AEW is really showing that they're top competition. They're coming for that top spot, and I would not be surprised if we're sitting here a year from now if that's how it is. I really wouldn't.
So far we got So that pretty much wraps up the men's Money in the Bank match. But keep in mind, this is SummerSlam season. I would say WWE is going to garnish more viewers, especially with the live TV, with the fans coming back, which is going to be awesome. But yeah, we also got the women's Money in the Bank ladder match: Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, and Nikki Cross, which they're calling her Nikki Ash right now. Carmella and Zelina have been announced as the competitors. They didn't earn their way in like the Raw superstars did. I think that's just because of their lack of size of the women's division. But you got two more ladies that are going to be announced in there, so that's still shaping up. By next week, I think I hope. I think I would have a better feel who's going to win Money in the Bank for the men's. I'm leading with Drew McIntyre, but there are a couple dark horses in there. And you got Edge versus Roman Reigns. We'll talk about Jimmy Uso in a minute, but that program is underway. Roman Reigns was seen was even backstage on SmackDown. I don't even know. I don't even remember, but I know Jimmy Uso is the one that ended the show with Edge with the bar. Yeah, with the bar in Jimmy's mouth and tapping him out. So we had that. Kofi Kingston versus Bobby Lashley's the title match for the WWE Championship, which I expect Bobby Lashley will retain there. And Bayley versus Bianca Belair, I Quit match. You have that going on. And Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's title. I don't even know who's the heel and the face in that match anymore.
Who cares?
It makes no sense. Who's the heel?
I'm sorry. And I know I shit. I'm sorry. Apologize for later. I know I shit on Charlotte Flair. But, like, I don't care. Like, I just could not care any less than what I already do about Charlotte Flair's matches. Like, she's just not entertaining to me in the slightest. Like, I'm glad she's getting the rub of being able to fight Rhea Ripley. If she takes the title off her, I'm going to absolutely bury it. You have to create a new logo for me to bury it, because I will. I just don't care. Like, I don't want to see her in this position. Like, I honestly rather see like Alicia Fox versus Rhea Ripley.
Hold on a second. Hold on. All right, Tom, carry on.
I'll put on my shoveler hat, man. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't care if your name is Flair, if your name is Manning or Brady. I don't care. Like, I don't need you to be forced down my throat. It's the fact that you're this great champion or the opportunity. Congratulations. But, like, if the whole problem with the women's evolution or whatever they want to call it in both brands, it's not like just WWE is doing this. We're getting the same stuff over and over again. Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, Charlotte Flair, Asuka, Rhea Ripley. Okay, like, I'm done with it. Like, give me, whether they're good or not, like, let me see Dana Brooke fail. Let me see Minoru Suzuki fail. Let me see these women who aren't used.
And NXT has a lot of women down there that they don't even have to even bring up to NXT. They could just bring them up to the main roster.
Exactly. Like Penelope Ford, I'm glad she's got a match next week on Fyter Fest Night 1. Where's she been the last month? Like,
she had a match. She had a match like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, whatever. I'm sure it was a throwaway, like 5 minutes. Like, okay, great for Charlotte Flair that she's won 10, 11 titles. I don't care. Stop putting her in the main event or in the main women's match every time. She's going to be, I guarantee you, I will be 100% surprised if the I Quit match goes on after Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. I will be 100% surprised. I'm just so tired of seeing her like in the main event. You know what happened when Roman Reigns was in the main event too much? They gave him a U.S. title shot. He won that. He actually brought, not too many bad matches with that. Same thing with Cena. Cena had the U.S. title for a while. I don't need to see them being fully featured on this card every single month. It's not I don't like her. I just don't like her character. Like I'm so tired of seeing her being like, I'm the ultimate best because my name is Flair. Like, my name's Tommy Smith. You don't see me like being a blacksmith or something, being the best blacksmith in the world or anything like that. Like, I'm just so tired of seeing this, like, the favoritism towards Charlotte Flair. Like, she's good and all. She's not the best promo. I'm sorry. Whether you want to agree with me or not, I think her promos absolutely suck. Like, she's kind of bad at them. She does the same moves every single match. Like, come on. Like, where's the... we're trying to we're building up new stars, and we're wondering why why all of our our viewership is down and our money is down and all that. It's because you're not giving people opportunities. Nikki Cross is a fucking superhero. I'm sorry for
that's her idea. I heard.
It is her idea.
I heard that's Nikki Cross's idea. So if she's buried herself, if this goes wrong,
that's fair. I agree with that. But Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are being hypnotized and slapping people, like slapping their male butler. Like
Alexa Bliss has the powers now.
What is going on?
Haven't you seen? Alexa Bliss has got the powers.
I don't understand the total lack of knowledge, the lack of ineptitude that's going on here, like in the women's division across both brands. Again, don't think I'm just shitting on AEW or WWE. AEW does it too. Like, it's just boring, man. Like, I'm not trying to sound sexist or anything like that. I really don't pay attention to the women's matches because they don't give enough of the roster a chance. Like you said, there is tons of people, tons of women who are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, some of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. Candice LeRae is absolutely incredible. She's so good. And she just lost the tag team titles. Like, they just won it 3 months ago. Like, what? Why? Like, there's no consistency. There's no innovation. The women's division on both brands is just so lackluster. It's almost funny. Like, AEW's got WWE beat in the tag team roster. The women's roster across both brands is comparable to WWE's tag team roster. It's non-existent. You have your 2 or 3 big stars, and that's it. It's just a bunch of baloney, and I hate it. I'm sorry that was a long rant, that was a long burial, but I do not like Charlotte Flair. I do not care for her match. I will adamantly skip this match on next Sunday, and I will feel no remorse for doing so. I hope she watches and calls Andrade to come kick my ass or whatever, but bring it on.
And that is this week's burial for the Deep Six podcast.
I've never done a burial, so I feel so much more free now.
That was all you today. Let's talk.
In that release.
Maybe we should go back into the burial segment on this one. But Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso getting.
He doesn't deserve of a segment.
Getting pulled over with a 205. He blew a 205 in the
baby.
breathalyzer. They make me think that 205 live. Like I thought it was a joke at first.
That's what I thought of. Hell yeah.
205. That's a .20. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the legal limit is, at least in New York, is .07 or .08. Or something like that.
Pretty sure is what the nationwide.
So that's doubled. So
almost tripled. He almost tripled.
Jimmy Uso probably went through a 12-pack by himself at most, I would say. He had about a good 75 ounces of alcohol in him.
Hey man, nothing wrong with that. But like, don't be driving after. Like,
stupid. And you know what?
I enjoy the casual 6, 12.
You have Jey Uso that's out. Yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know why. He's been off TV for 2 weeks. So Jimmy Uso's, kind of, Roman's lackey now for the time being. And like now you have this happening. It's kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of screwing up the whole head of the table storyline here.
Yeah,
it just seems like they want to go in that direction. They have the three of them together, united, kind of like the Shield, and have like a run with that. And it just seems like it's not working. It's not happening for whatever reason.
It just seems like there's always something that's kind of thrown a wrench in it. And
so Jimmy was out for a while, then he comes back, and now he's gone. And Jay is gone for two weeks for whatever reason. Maybe it's just storyline and taking time off. But
I mean,
this Roman Reigns storyline has so much potential, and the Usos are kind of messing it up right now.
At the very least, I hope that Jimmy Uso gets help. Finds a way to beat his alcohol.
You gotta stop making stupid decisions. Don't drive.
In a sense, like it is tougher than just being able to say that.
Yeah.
But I hope he gets help. But if he got released or anything like that, I wouldn't be surprised. And that sucks to say because the Usos together are one of the greatest tag teams of all time. From an in-ring standpoint, I think the whole Uso Penitentiary kind of gimmick that started, I want to say, like 2017.
Yeah, it's about 2-3 years now, yeah.
Has been absolutely phenomenal. I think they completely changed their career. And like you said, like, this storyline is, whether people want to agree or not, and I know I've said that a lot today, like, the whole Roman Reigns head of the table, ever since he came back at SummerSlam last year, has been the best storyline in WWE, far and away. And him finally being able to get Jimmy back, or whoever it was, Jimmy or Jay, finally getting able to get them back from injury, having the whole family, and now you have this, like, messed up. Like, come on, man. Like get some help. We hope and pray that you can get that help and be able to fix this stuff. And honestly, again, I don't like seeing people lose their jobs. It's tough, but I hope he doesn't lose his job. But like, that's a problem, man. 205, like, that's almost triple the limit.
That's irresponsible.
That's irresponsible. Like,
yeah,
this might be the biggest storyline he's had in his career. You can't mess that up, man. Like, you gotta, at this point, it's not about, is his wrestling career, is his WWE career okay? Like, it is about, again, we're all human. I think we shit on both WWE, AEW, the wrestlers. We talk a lot of trash about all of it, but we're all human. Like, we have to be able to humanize these people and know that they are, they make mistakes. But if anything, like, I hope that Jimmy Uso gets some help and is able to figure out this way of life and be able to, all things in moderation. That's the one thing I was taught as a kid. Like, you can enjoy a drink, you can enjoy a 6-pack, whatever like that. But don't be driving. Like, just don't do something stupid like that. It's not worth the risk to you and to other people.
For sure. So let's go run down NXT really quick before we call it a night here. It is Thursday evening here on the East Coast, and we are anticipating Tropical Storm Elsa sweeping through New York very soon, within the next couple hours. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting weekend. But stand back, a hurricane's coming through. Oh man, I missed that. But yeah. But anyhow, we had NXT Great American Bash this past Wednesday, and what was a pretty decent show. It was good. I mean, a decent show. We didn't do a prediction show for it or anything, but I would say the outcomes were fairly predictable for the most part. But yeah, let's run through it really quick. We had NXT on NXT Great American Bash, MSK defeating Ciampa and Thatcher. There was a possibility that a title could change here, but I felt that it would have been too soon for a title change here. We see Lee roll up Thatcher for the win. Good match here. What did you think? I thought these two teams worked together very well.
I've sung the praises of MSK ever since they debuted, coming over from Impact. If you needed a reminder, a refresher, whatever, if you needed a sign that they are deserving of the tag team championships, this is the match. I mean, they were absolutely great in this match. Thatcher and Ciampa are obviously going to put on a great match every time they go out. I love this match. Good start to the show. I can't say enough about, the performance of MSK since they've come over has been absolutely incredible. They are. It's tough for me to say this because I know a lot of people say like the Young Bucks and stuff, but like it's really hard for me to argue against MSK being the hottest tag team in all of wrestling right now because they are that good.
I agree.
Excellent matches every single time, and that's no offense to the Young Bucks. I know they're great, but man, MSK is I never want to miss an MSK match. They're just so fun to watch. They bring that different styles, the high flying, the toughness, the speed. They can do it all. It's a very entertaining watch. So I implore you, if you have not seen or if you think that MSK is not deserving the tag team titles, go watch this match because you will have your mind change.
For sure. And they also announced next week we are getting Johnny Gargano challenging Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship, which should be a very good match. I do not think the title changes here.
The special guest, right?
And Samoa Joe is a special guest referee. I have a feeling that they're building to Samoa Joe against Karrion Kross for SummerSlam weekend. That's just my gut feeling.
In your way, then. Okay.
I have a gut feeling here, and that Samoa Joe going to take the title off Karrion Kross, with Kross going up to the main roster. He better come up to the main roster with Scarlett. That has to be a package. They cannot come up separately. But what do you think?
From what I've heard, and this is just, again, rumors, and I honestly would kind of be down to see this. I've heard that if Joe doesn't get involved, they might go with, because they just announced on NXT UK, Ilya Dragovich versus Walter for the title, the NXT UK title. Dragovich could be the guy who's done it. I mean, he beats Walter. He had a fantastic match last time. I've heard Walter versus Cross SummerSlam weekend. Now,
that's interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Now, wouldn't that be a match? I mean, like, talk about a match. That would be something.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
I love me some Karrion Kross.
I
love me even more.
Do you think they should do that on a takeover, or do you think that should be on SummerSlam?
If the card is right,
keep in mind that WWE is looking to do their darnest to pack out this stadium in Las Vegas for SummerSlam.
Is going to be big. I don't care what anybody says. I would be 1,000% shocked. I would put every dollar that I have that either John Cena, Brock Lesnar, or Becky Lynch shows up at SummerSlam or has a match. I would guarantee that bet. I'd 100% it.
Well, we already know, John. But it looks like they want to go Cena versus Roman.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure how they're going to fit Becky Lynch in. Maybe Becky versus Bianca Belair.
I'm just not even match. I'm just saying show up like that pop.
And Lesnar could be the guy that's the one that shows up. I don't know how they're gonna. I guess we really won't
We
know
won't know for the next
until
week,
after Money in the Bank. Yeah.
But man, I mean, if the card is right and you can get Cross versus Walter on there for like 15 minutes, oh my goodness.
15 minutes. I would give them a half an hour.
Oh, I would too, but
But then again, Cross is not really. We haven't really seen like too many matches with a half hour Cross, but
they could give
20, 25 minutes.
That match. I mean, if the rumored matches are to be believed and it all works out in that card, I mean, we're talking about the opportunity, and I know we've said this a few times over the months that we've been doing this, but we're talking about the opportunity of one of the best WWE pay-per-views of all time. Like, man, I mean, that would be so good. I would love that. But if it does happen on TakeOver, that would be great. I love me Samoa Joe too. I'd love to see him go against Cross. I don't know if he'll get right back into the ring this quick, but either way, I don't see Johnny Gargano winning.
For those of you guys that are listening and watching this, I cleared my calendar out the next morning after SummerSlam, which is a Sunday morning. I cleared my calendar out. I'm not going to be getting up at 6 a.m. like I usually do. I'm going to get up like 9 or 10 a.m. To go to church and stuff. So, but I cleared my calendar out for early Sunday morning because I will thoroughly be looking forward to talking about SummerSlam weekend immediately after SummerSlam goes off the air. And talking about what we're going to have a lot to talk about that night. And I'll tell you.
I mean, you think
that
Money in
much.
the Bank's going to be a big show? I mean, SummerSlam in Vegas is really the first major event in Allegiant Stadium.
It's going to be a prelude to a future WrestleMania.
Oh, it's going to be. I'm so excited. And again, I said this at the beginning of the show. Watching Dynamite last night, like knowing that that's the first show with fans and it's going to stick that way. There's nothing better, man. It just makes the show so much more enjoyable. I want to watch the show actually hearing people sing along to Judas, hearing people cheer for Hangman Page. Like, it's just fun, man. It's finally, it's refreshing, and it kind of is heartwarming to know that, like, us as wrestling fans, like, we finally got it back. Like, we have that experience back of being, I mean, we were just talking before the show, going to All Out. Like, we have that opportunity to do that again. Like, we have the opportunity to go to shows. Like, it just makes me feel, it just makes me feel so much more happier knowing that we're back. Like, we're back at that chance.
The $1 Million Championship on the line. Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight. Either Grimes wins the title or Grimes has to become LA Knight's butler. So we get LA Knight with the win here. He DDTs Grimes onto the $1 Million belt on the outside, knocking him out. This match, the storytelling of this match was so perfectly told. Grimes beats the count, get him back in the ring, but he was pretty much had his clock cleaned from taking that DDT onto the belt. Puts Knight down for the 1-2. I'm sorry, puts Grimes down for the 1-2-3. Grimes, that is, and Knight puts Grimes down for the 1-2-3 and gets the win. So starting next week, we're going to see Grimes as the butler. Kind of similar to of a storyline that we were getting with Chuck Taylor and Miro. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see where that goes. Would have liked to have seen Grimes win the title here, but you kind of had an idea that they were going to go this route. Otherwise, it would have not been a stipulation.
Yeah, this one was pretty predictable. I mean, it does build up to the fact that when, Grimes does beat LA Knight for that $1 Million Championship, I mean, it's almost inevitable at some point that it's going to happen. But yeah, I haven't had a problem with this match. I love LA Knight. I've been a big fan of his ever since his Impact days with Eli Drake. Cameron Grimes has gotten that rub here recently. This was a fine match. Nothing to go home about. But I think it's inevitable. Cameron Grimes is going to beat and turn on LA Knight at some point when they move on to different feuds, and Cameron Grimes is going to be the new $1 million championship winner, whether that's at SummerSlam. I don't know if it'd be that quick or after. But yeah, man, this was fine. No problems with it. I like both of the guys who wrestled in it.
So they announced the Breakout Stars tournament for NXT starting next week, which I'm looking forward to a lot. But one interesting character, Odyssey Jones. I'm watching the announcing where all the wrestlers are from, and Odyssey Jones from Coram, New York, which is literally 1 minute from me, one town over, but it's literally 1 minute because I'm right next to Coram borderline. So this guy is from my neighborhood, basically. And I've never seen him. I've never met him. I would assume that he wrestled in one of the local Long Island promotions, NYWC or something. But I just thought that was pretty cool. Like marked out because I'm seeing Coram, New York, which is literally on the other side of that the road from my house.
Sure,
so I thought that was pretty cool. So maybe I'll run into him. But I thought that kind of surprised me. I marked out for a second there. Don't know who he is, but I'm like, oh, Coram. That's awesome. That's right near me. But moving on, women's tag titles were on the line. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Io and Zoe Stark. We see the return of Tegan Knox. Returns in the middle of the match, distracting Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Candice LeRae was shocked. Zoe Stark gets the win with Indy Hartwell taking the pinfall. And Zoe Starks and Io Shirai are your new NXT Women's Tag Titles. I love the work that Zoe Stark has been doing, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to say.
Not the best. To be transparent, not the best look for women's wrestler.
Yeah.
But she can go.
She can go, man.
She works. She can work. I love watching her matches. She is growing on me very quick.
Yeah. It's tough because, like, I really was a really big fan of Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell getting that title. I mean, I don't know if
it was a little. I felt like it was a little soon. The tag title match.
It really was.
They had more, like 3 more months legs under it.
For sure. And I've talked about this again. I talked about it earlier in the show. I'm a huge fan of Candice LeRae. If you've never seen her intergender matches or anything like that, she's fantastic. She is so good. And for her to finally get that NXT championship, just in general, winning any title was great. And maybe it was a little premature, but seeing Tegan Knox, I love Tegan Knox. She's so good. Like I'm glad that she's finally recovered from another ACL injury. I don't understand how people.
I felt so bad for her when that happened.
Oh yeah, she's such a good performer. She's so fun to watch. Like her getting her second ACL injury, like finally returning, it's great. I pray that she stays healthy. I'm so proud and glad to know that she's back. But hey, man, Zoe Stark, like you said, she kills it. She is
one of my absolute favorites.
In the ring, man. She is good. I don't know if I agree with the change, but this was a really, really good match.
And then we had Cole defeating Kyle O'Reilly. He hits the Panama Sunrise on O'Reilly, followed by the last shot. Cole gets the win. I really don't know where they're going to go with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly individually after this. I guess it remains to be seen. Maybe one of them will be waiting in the wings for a future title shot. Maybe they come up together to the main roster. Not too sure if Adam Cole really wants to go up to the main roster, but I know Gargano and Tommaso don't want to come up, but what that remains to be seen. What's going to happen with Alex Cole there? So all in all, a pretty good Great American Bash. I honestly, as of this moment, I have not watched AEW Dynamite. But yeah, I got to shout out somebody.
Oh boy.
I have to shout out somebody. Is it possible? Is it even possible to do an emoji on here on this chat? No, right? Okay. So I'm gonna shout out somebody really quick, and somebody who kind of spoiled the results, not knowing. Again, it's Thursday morning. He probably assumed that I watched their show last night of Dynamite, which is a fair assumption. But I did not. But I want to shout out this guy for spoiling last night's results, and below is my reaction when I read this particular spoiler. So this was my reaction right here. Let's see if I can pull it up. For those of you guys that are listening, that's why you should subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can see what I typed. I just shout out my friend Chris Foster with a sad face with an equal sign and a parenthesis. Yes, I was a little disappointed, but I did not. I kind of had an idea it was kind of coming. I saw some rumblings quickly, like yesterday or the day before. Same thing with Tegan Knox. I saw the rumblings, so like I wasn't shocked. You knew he was popping up somewhere. But it's Aleister Black.
We gotta keep it quiet.
Why is that? You already know about it. I know about it.
No, I watched it live.
You did watch it live. So why do we gotta keep it quiet?
I don't know. Just gotta, in case somebody hasn't watched. In case you haven't watched, I'll announce it for you. Wait. My favorite wrestler on the former WWE roster, Aleister Black, debuted on AEW last night because of mismanagement by WWE. They did not sign him to a 90-day no-complete clause. They only signed him to a 30-day no-complete clause. So he was able to show up last night, debuting as Malachi Black, attacking and beating the absolute shit out of Arn Anderson and Cody Rhodes. I'm so excited for this. I swear if Cody Rhodes beats him, I'm going to be very upset. But man, what a moment. I mean, talk about Tony Khan has been giving us a little tease there each and every week about how there's some big events coming up or big moments. And this was one of them. I don't know if anybody knew that Aleister Black was able to come off his contract, and today it just came out that he was on that 30-day instead of the 90-day no-complete clause.
Yeah, Jericho posted something on Facebook about it too. Yeah. I was like, wow. I didn't even read the article, but I heard about it. But yeah, I got the spoiler in my text. That's how I know about it. I haven't even watched Dynamite yet. I'm gonna just to get a feel for the crowd reaction and everything. And then by our next podcast, I'm sure we'll talk about it. Or maybe we'll just do another one this week. Who knows? I don't know, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it sometime. We got a comment from Alyssa Stansbury. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you. We talked about it a little bit early. Jimmy Uso, you got an issue here, and this isn't the first time now. I feel like this is the second time that one of the Usos are getting into trouble here, and I don't know if it's the same Uso, but I feel like this is at least the second time that and Uso is getting in trouble.
Yeah, it's like John Cena promo where you look just like your mugshots.
Again, Alyssa, we think that Jimmy Uso getting arrested and then with Jay not being on SmackDown the past couple weeks for whatever reason, and then Jimmy probably not going to be on SmackDown this week, I feel like it's bringing down and doing harm to the whole Roman Reigns head of the table storyline. WWE needs to go in a direction where WWE books Roman Reigns and Usos kind of like the Shield, but it's not happening right now with all these, like we talked about before, Tommy, with all these different things, with an Uso getting in trouble or an Uso being injured. So yeah. Yeah, a lot of distractions, but Alyssa, thank you so much for hopping on and checking in, and feel free to leave comments whenever you want. We'll definitely address them for sure, but that's a good comment you left there. We hit up on it a little bit earlier on, and yeah. So we have a very interesting summer ahead of us. So we got Money in the Bank coming next week, a prediction show that's happening. That will definitely be happening for sure. We always give we get the predictions right. We do pretty good. Sometimes we're wrong. But I would have never predicted Otis winning Money in the Bank last year. That was just ridiculous, and I lost it last year. And hopefully they don't do anything stupid again this year. But so we have that. And then we have basically a themed Wednesday Night Dynamite every single Fighter Fest the next couple weeks, and then what have you. And then we're basically going to be closing in on SummerSlam very soon. That would be August 18th. That's going to be a big weekend for us. We're also making a big announcement next week as far as the direction of our podcast goes. A good direction. We ain't going nowhere. So that's not happening. We're just going in a different, in a slightly different direction. We're going up to the moon. So little by little, we're going in the right direction. And for those of you guys that are watching, Ireland's, we see you. We see the viewers. Or should I say listeners, because that's SoundCloud. We see how many people listening from Ireland, UK. We want to thank you guys so much. But we have listeners that have listened from all over the world at this point now. So we want to thank you guys. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. This way you get the prediction show. You're going to get the post show for Money in the Bank for sure. The post show for SummerSlam. I have no clue how we're going to work out the post show of All Out yet. Do the 2-man power trip with Seth Rollins. Yeah. With Roman Reigns, you could absolutely do that. Not sure how you get there. Because Seth Rollins is gone on camera saying that he wants to get a title shot and what have you. But I think it's maybe they hold off on that. Seth Rollins is going to be facing Edge at SummerSlam, I believe. So keep on the lookout for that as well. But moving on. We got a lot of good things coming up is what I'm trying to get at. But that pretty much wraps up episode 67 here. We will be back at some point next week. We're thinking towards the later part with hopefully a special guest. We have Brandon coming on. It's going to help us predict Money in the Bank. So you'll find out who we think is going to win the ladder matches. Cannot wait to see that pay-per-view, as basically, in my opinion, Money Bank is the ultimate kickoff for a hot summer every single year. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So a lot of good things going on. Tommy, is there anything else you want to add to the show before we go off the air?
Nah, man. I'm just excited. I'm just excited to be able to get back to wrestling next week. Next Friday is really the start of everything. Like, we know that's the end. We're going back on tour, WWE and AEW. I'm looking forward to it, man.
For sure. A lot of good things coming up. I cannot wait. But anyhow, to those of you guys that are watching, we'll be back next week with more Money in the Bank talk, and we will see you all then. Catch you guys later. Episode 67 is in the books.